Okay, now he needs a minute, of course. It's telling me to wait. There we go. Okay. Okay. I just wanted to make sure that we were recording so that we are all set. If she does come on more. Okay. Okay. So welcome to our informal update. Again, I'm keeping a close eye on to see if Commissioner Nagel can join us, but I'm happy to go ahead and just talk about what we have going on. I didn't have any. Oh, she's here. We can call the order. All right.
Okay.
Let's just let her connect. That was good timing. Let's just give her a second to connect. I know. Just give me 1 second. I'll try to fix that.
That's fine.
Okay. Do you want to call us to order?
Yes. I'd like to call the meeting to order. Pledge allegiance is next.
I pledge allegiance
To the
Flag of the United States of America. To the republic for which it stands,
one nation,
under God, with liberty for all.
To the folks joining us from Zoom, can you still see the screen that says, well, now it says the meeting's starting. I need to fix that.
Just to let you know, I'll be going off at 7 as well. I think we probably, Commissioner Nagel and I probably both have the same economic development meeting.
We'll be brief. Thank you for your patience. Can you see the public participation screen?
No.
Okay. Excuse me a second. One of these days we'll get this figured out. See it now? No, you don't see it now?
No, I just see all the members.
Okay, that's a start. Try one more time. We will get this. Obviously, there's some bugs that we need to work out for this OWL system, but it's definitely going to by far be our best choice in terms of holding hybrid meetings and hybrid programs. Okay, one more try. Share screen. Do you see the public participation slide?
Yes.
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 Okay, so just so the folks from home could call in or dial in if they need to. But we also have some folks here in person as well.
Okay. So the next item on the agenda is public participation, and I can't see really what's going on. You'll have to help me.
Any public participation?
I know Dave is there. Does he have anything?
Yeah, last night the council met and we moved along the process of doing what you wanted to have happen, reducing the number of membership required. I believe it goes to a public hearing and then it's finalized unless for some radical reason there's a change. But the council, as far as I can tell, all seems they voted in favor of it, everyone. So I don't foresee any problem with that coming to fruition. We just have to follow the procedures to make it official.
Was
Also,
it unanimous, David? Was it
yes.
unanimous? Okay, good,
Yes, it was unanimous.
great.
Also, the Democratic side of the aisle had on our schedule new postings for different positions in terms of liaisons and committees, but for some reason, Councilor Page requested that it be tabled. So I don't know if that's going to affect changing the Democratic representative to the council or not. I don't know if Councilor Rada, who I see there, has any input on that or not. But those are the two things that directly would affect the commission or not.
Yeah, I think we'll know within the next week or so, because we, as all of you know, Councilor Braverman has resigned, and Carol Annist is filling in the remainder of her tenure. So we've been shifting things around, and we want to make sure that it's equitable for everyone. So we can let you know as soon as possible.
So I assume that will be presented at the next meeting or whenever Councilor Page wishes to present it again, and then we'll vote on it. I know there was no objection to the changes that the other aisle wanted to do at all, or any discussion about it. So I assume it will go forth whenever it's presented to the council again.
Well, that's good news. Is there anyone else who has anything are you done, David? Councilor Nagel, are you done?
Yes, I am. I can barely hear you.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm really far away.
Yes, I know you are, but it might be the system itself. There we go.
Is there anyone else who wants to speak? Okay. Next, we have, didn't we have approval of minutes?
Yes, the slide is missing on that. Approval of minutes from the last meeting, which were done by Karen Galicchio, and you all should have received via email a couple of weeks ago.
Yes. Does anyone have any questions or anything to say? Okay. The next, number 5
we
is
would need
staff.
to approve. I'm sorry to interrupt. You need to just make a motion and a second to approve and then vote in favor or against.
I don't think we need to do that. We haven't been making a motion. But we can.
It wouldn't
someone
hurt just to make it official.
Yep.
Motion to approve the meeting.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, so carried. All right, number 5 is the staff report.
Okay, so we just met 3 weeks ago. I'm going to try to make this brief, but so we went through a lot of the programs and things that we've been doing then. So today I'm going to talk a little bit about a couple of big exciting things that are going on. Thank you, Councilor Nagel, for providing the update about the town council and the ordinance amendment. That's going well, and hopefully will continue to proceed as expected. As I briefly discussed at the last meeting, the state or the statewide senior centers have received about $10 million in ARPA funding. That was going to be disseminated to individual senior and disabled centers throughout the state based on a number of factors determined by the State Unit on Aging. And we found out recently that Newington is fantastic news. Newington is going to receive, our senior center is going to receive about $90,000 in relief funding, COVID relief funding, which is fantastic. I apologize, there's a little background noise on the hallway. So we know almost nothing except for that. It was announced from the State Unit on Aging just, I don't know, probably a week or two ago. I sent you guys a brief email when that happened. What we do know about it is that it can only be used for COVID relief purposes for senior centers. So it can be used for things like improvements to our building, or for additional programs, or resuming or bringing in new services, anything to help us continue to recover from COVID. There are much more specific rules than that, but there are some informational sessions coming up with the State Unit on Aging. We'll all get a lot more info. There are some ideas flying around among the senior center directors and staff around the state, but I certainly will work very closely with the town manager, the finance department, this commission, and the council to make sure that it's all being used properly. So it's great news. Again, $90,000 in funding is really a very significant amount. It'll cost, we'll be very happy to have it, and we can do a lot of good with it. But the actual usage and information about it, I'm sure I'll have for you at the next meeting. Any questions on that? Because I know I fly through a lot. Commissioner France.
Briefly, so if there's any expenditure that, for example, if any of this ARPA money that is allocated to the senior and to our center here in Newington, does the commission have any say in how that money gets spent in general?
I don't know. That's
Oh.
one of the things I need to find out. I don't know. Obviously, I would welcome your input. We would welcome, the staff would welcome your input no matter what. In regards to who actually approves the expenditures, I don't know yet. So, and again, it has to be pursuant to what the grant funding allows. So, we can't go out and use it for any kind of random thing we want. It has to be according to the law. So I'll get you the info on that as soon as I know. I said, then we were pushing and pushing and pushing for them to figure out who was going to get what, and they did. And then they're like, okay, more info to follow. We're waiting for the info. I also mentioned at the last meeting the NCOA COVID and flu vaccine uptake initiative grant. That's a title for you. And I am happy to announce that I submitted the grant application to the National Council on Aging at 4:15 this afternoon. I'm working as Newington, if we were to receive the grant, would be the fiduciary for the Central Connecticut Health District towns of Newington, Berlin, Weathersfield, and Rocky Hill, as well as the health district itself. The purpose of the grant funding, it is a competitive grant offered by the National Council on Aging. I believe they have $1.5 million or somewhere along that line that they're going to be rewarding to people in increments of $50,000. I decided to proceed with this with the town manager's blessing along with the 4 Central Connecticut Health District towns, because it's a much bigger project than something that we would handle in Newington. So we might as well go to the experts in vaccination, which is the health district. The purpose of the grant is to help provide COVID and flu vaccines to older adults and at-risk populations, which are identified by many different things, including functional needs, transportation needs, financial needs, communication, everything like that, to folks who wish to receive a COVID or flu vaccine, but don't have the means to do so, don't have the transportation, have challenges, maybe they're homebound. So that would be the purpose of the funding if we were to receive it. Again, the 4 member towns would be working together to do an outreach program that would target not only that population, but also identify and contact those who are identified to be at risk through our various means possible. We would have some volunteers on hand to help answer phones and help people figure out how to set up vaccine appointments. We would have transportation resources available, including financial aid for people who need it, or having various means of transportation, helping them set it up. The health district would continue, as they have been for years, to do COVID and flu clinics, but this may help them to do some more, particularly those targeted to those who have special needs. So because that obviously takes a lot longer than if you're just going into CVS or Walgreens and getting a vaccine. And also it would help us to help the health district to get staffing and clinicians and related staff to perform homebound vaccines, which is someplace that's always been short. So it's really exciting. It's a big group effort. It was a big application. We met quite a bit with the health district and the member towns to determine what the scope would be of our project. And we submitted the application today. So hopefully we will know again in the coming weeks whether or not we're going to receive that funding. Just like with the ARPA funds, we would work closely with the proper agencies and the town departments and this commission to make sure that it's expended in the way that it should be. But again, the scope of the project is within what the NCOA says it's going to be. So it's to help to get people vaccinated who wish to do so. So that's an update on that.
That's pretty exciting.
It was stressful, a lot of work, but I was very excited to be a part of that. Happy that Newington's taking the lead, because we have kind of been a hub of vaccine and pandemic information to older adults in the area, and we should continue to do so. And I'm happy to do so.
Jamie, do
Yes.
you know
Yep.
what other towns got money? Are there any other around here?
I have
Who
no
got-
idea because they haven't awarded anything yet. So I don't know who,
okay.
I'm not privy to who may have applied to it, besides our 4-member towns in the health district.
Okay, I was
I'm
just
sure we'll find out.
curious.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
sure we'll find out. I would hope that other senior centers and health districts would apply as well. It would be helpful. Commissioner France has a question.
Please, yeah.
Yeah.
What are the 4-member towns?
Newington,
Yeah.
Berlin, Rocky Hill, and Weathersfield. You're welcome. Another interesting fact, I was just looking through the DPH website to get some statistics. And when COVID vaccines were initially introduced in Connecticut and widely available to the public in early 2021, nearly 95% of the state's population received at least one dose. In the new booster that has been available since the fall, only about 52% of older adults have received that booster. So the uptake has slowed for various reasons. Of course, part of that could just be choice, which is fine. But if there are functional needs or access needs or other needs that are preventing people from getting these vaccines, then we will have the means to help them to do so. And that's important. And that's for flu and COVID, just to emphasize that.
Okay,
Sure.
Just to add a note, the health district, Charlie Brown of the Central Connecticut Health District did a presentation last night and did present some of what you're presenting here tonight as well. So the council is aware of this possible grant as
Interesting.
well.
No pressure to receive it now, I guess. We'll have to see. But I'm hopeful. Very good. And of course, there will be quite a bit of information to follow if indeed we do receive the funding. So I talked at the last meeting quite a bit about our current and upcoming programs. So I'm not going to do that again, but you do have your connection newsletter. There's a lot of great programs coming up. I did want to highlight 2 quickly. One is a balance and strength class, a 10-week class that started today. Our program coordinator recognized the need to bring in additional instructor-based classes. Our silver sneakers class is often full and there's often a waiting list. We have other video-based classes, but we needed something with a in-person instructor. So she worked with a physical therapist to bring in a very well formulated program, and that actually sold out. So it starts today and it's full, and we'll just continue to offer it as long as people are excited about it. Also, as you know, there was an energy cost forum at the library last month, which I attended, and I met with the AARP representative who was there that evening and got some information from him. And Barbara reached out to the same gentleman, and they will be coming to present a course about what I need to know about my electric choices on Monday, March 13th, which is a really important program. It's going to help people learn how to review your electric bill, maybe your options to cut some costs, and where to go for reliable Connecticut supplier information and so forth. So hopefully, if you're worried about your electric bill, as many people are, your energy bills, please, we are welcome to attend that session. It's at 10 o'clock on Monday, March 13th. I'm going back to exercise for a moment. I think I mentioned this last time. Barbara has done a wonderful job at bringing in really exciting ways to get people moving and to get people having fun. And pickleball continues to be a very, very popular program. We're up to 3 days a week, usually with a wait list. So we might even extend it to 4 days a week, 2 sessions a day to come play pickleball. And then the final update I have for you is, again, the system that we're using right now for this meeting with the camera and the mics. This is the OWL system that this commission approved for purchase last month, I believe, or maybe the month before. Obviously, it's not perfect. I have to figure out the whole screen sharing bit so we could see both at once. But we're excited for this, not only for hybrid meetings, but once we get it working out properly, we will be able to reach a lot of people who want to listen to our programs but can't come in. So maybe they could join from home, or maybe they're in a rehab or in the hospital or something. They want to stay connected. That's a good way to do so. So I think that's really all I have. I wanted to keep it brief tonight. Your monthly report we should get in the next day or so. The month just ended yesterday and I'm waiting on some data. So I'll get that out to you within the next couple of days with a full report of everything that's been going on.
So I'm not sure if I should bring this up now or under old business, but did you find out anything more about the door counter?
No, I did not. I'm sorry. I'll have to contact IT. I made myself another note. We were so worried about this OWL system that I didn't do so.
No, that's fine. I just didn't want it to get lost.
I appreciate that.
And I've written grants before and I know how hard they are. So I totally understand.
I did
appreciate
too.
that.
Yeah.
A lot of wordsmithing involved, but we had really good
Mhm.
help and input from the member towns and the health district. So I will say it's been a nice group effort.
That's good. Okay, we have old business, budget update. I don't think anything's gone on, but
No, the town council meets to discuss budgets on March 25th, I believe, for each town.
We're supposed to any day now receive the town manager's budget. We've yet to receive it. And it isn't until later in the month that we will be going over it with him through the beginning of April, I believe.
Great. So next month's commission meeting, maybe we'll have a bit of an update to see how that process is going, but it sounds like it's going as normal so far.
okay. Now, next we have new business. And you already talked about upcoming activities. Did you hit them all?
I think so. I didn't mention bus trips. There are always a lot. It's wonderful. The staff does a fantastic job as always. Bus trips, like I said, they are going in full swing. Every 3 days a week, we have our volunteers at the welcome desk for about 2 hours a day, taking bus trip reservations and selling tickets. And it's a busy place to be. There's a line oftentimes. So several of our bus trips are selling out. We have trips all over the place coming up through August, and it's just kind of a nice thing to have going on again. But other than that, like I said, everything's in the connection. Lots of programs coming up. We're excited for spring.
Okay. Building update.
Last Thursday, in the morning, there was a pre-bid meeting for the windows, which was a bit of movement, on that project. So several folks, as well as the architect, came by and toured the building and inside and out and took some pictures. So I'm just waiting to hear back from facilities and the engineering department and our purchasing agent about the next step, and one that'll actually go out to bid. So there was some forward movement on that. Unfortunately, we had another minor roof leak. And I shouldn't say roof leak, it was a leak of the drain on the roof. Right outside the main office where our bulletin board is with our programs. That happened over the weekend. So we came into Monday. It isn't terrible. They were able to go up on the roof and adjust the drain, the facilities department, and take care of that. And just as a couple weeks ago, we did have an actual cold winter day over the weekend, our facilities department were on top of it and made sure that everything was okay. We didn't have any frozen pipes or anything in that matter. So everything's going along well with facilities. One thing coming up, I'm not asking for the purchase yet, but I will, along with the new windows, is we will probably want some new window coverings in some of the rooms. The window sizes will remain the same, but some of the rooms have the old metal blinds, including this room. I'm just looking at them. And some of them have the nicer vertical blinds, or the ones that are horizontal, but they're not metal. I don't know how to describe them. I'm sorry. The nicer ones. So some of the metal ones are actually bent or past their useful life. So we might want to look at replacing those when the time comes. just as a heads up.
Okay.
Commissioner France, I
Determine-
don't know if you can see, I'm sorry, Karen, I don't know if you can see, but Commissioner France has his hand up.
I
Just a
can't see, but
question.
Mark, go ahead.
Hi, Karen. Hello, everyone. Just a quick question or a question regarding the new window coverings in the rooms. Is there any anticipated cost that you could share with us at this moment, just so those of us can kind of have a figure in mind? as to-
Not yet. It really just came to our attention during the pre-bid meeting when we were walking around. I know that many of them are custom, so our facilities director is going to look into the cost of that and get back to me, and I'll bring it to you. But it wouldn't be something I would be asking for anytime soon because the windows need to be replaced first, and we're not even at bid yet. So
Okay.
just kind of a heads up for something that's coming down the pipeline.
And how are we doing the pre-bidding so far? How is that?
Well,
how is that going?
The pre-bid is just a meeting where anybody who might be interested walks around and takes a look at the project. And then our purchasing director is going to put out the bid documents, and there's a period of time to collect the bids. You can't open the bids until the closing. So we won't know exactly how, who bids or how our bids are going until we actually open them. But there did seem to be a lot of interest at the meeting. So hopefully we'll get some good competitive bids.
And one last question, what's the amount that we as commissioners are to, what number do we look at where we become, if you will, and this is just for me to learn, since I'm new on the council, on the commission, that we approve or not approve? What's that?
It depends. So
what's
it
the-
depends. For the windows are actually being paid for through grant and state funding. So that's not an expenditure that we're going to ask you for. But it completely depends. It depends on which fund it comes out of. So if it comes out of the commissions, the donations fund, that's one thing. If it comes out of our operating fund, then any expenditure over $500 has to come to the commission. So you'll see us come, and I'm getting a little ahead of myself on the agenda, but you'll see us come to you soon for things like gardening supplies, any equipment the facilities doesn't necessarily supply, things like, or facilities or IT wouldn't supply, things like when we got new iPads to use as POS systems, that type of thing. Window coverings, I know that we did that last, some window coverings, decorative items, equipment, supplies, anything along those lines. The commission also approves the expenditure for volunteer appreciation, including the volunteer dinner and any kind of gifts that we give in that regard.
So just from my understanding, so there's a donations fund, there's operating.
There are various operating funds, sure, like programs or supplies or technical supplies or office supplies, anything that's not like salaries or big projects like CIP projects or money that we bring in through donations. So let's say we were doing a program and we needed to buy some books for the program.
Sure.
If the expenditure for the books was under $500, then we would just buy it based on what we're budgeted in that amount in our annual budget. That's our municipal budget that's approved by the town council. If it's over $500, that money still comes out of our budget, but the commission has to approve the expenditure.
Thanks for the.
Yeah. I'm happy to also, talk to you about it more in
Sure,
more
and I don't
detail.
wanna take-
No, it's okay. I'm going to have my notes in front of me and I can give you like specifics.
Yeah,
Yeah, as opposed to trying to
absolutely.
remember everything off the top of my head. Okay.
Thank you.
No problem.
Okay,
So
I
that's
think
it for building.
we're up to determine next meeting date and agenda.
So the first Wednesday of each month.
I don't have a calendar in front of me right now.
Let me pull it up. Oops, I'm sorry. I'll pull it up. April 5th would be the next regular meeting date. It's the first Wednesday of April.
Is everybody available?
Yeah, as of right now.
Yep. Okay, so
And
we'll just, Jamie, you can have somebody check and make sure we'll have a quorum. Maybe by then we won't need so many members.
I have
Not
to
sure
think how many
how-
meetings, maybe. No, because there's a period
It is
after it's,
Passover, so I don't know if there's anyone that.
Oh, okay.
That celebrates celebrates.
Okay.
Passover.
we'll check into that. I'll email this group afterwards. And if there's anybody who's unable to attend for that reason, certainly we can change it, or we can consider changing it anyway if this commission wishes to do so. At the next meeting, I'm sorry, I just need to back up for 1 second into the building. Next week, we are meeting with the Giving Garden volunteers. We're doing our annual planning meeting with them to get ready for spring because it's right around the corner. So there may be some things that come out of that, which we might need to purchase, which I would probably ask for at the April meeting because that tends to be time sensitive. The equipment and things that you need for gardens when that becomes available. So just throwing that out there for the next meeting.
Yeah, usually every fall, we give the Giving Garden Club some money for different things. So.
Yep.
It's
We
one of
didn't
my
ask for
favorite.
anything this past fall. Yeah. So we'll have to see.
Okay, let's see, we have public participation. Anyone? Is there anyone besides Counselor Nagel? I can't tell if anyone's on the phones or no.
Nobody's on the meeting except for us. Nobody's buzzing in or anything. So I think we're okay.
Okay. Can I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
So carried.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you for attending, everybody. We'll see you
Have a
next
good night.
month.
Take care.
Bye-bye.